Hi there, my name's Daisy Buck, and I'm going to be talking to you about developing cultural capital through history. So, cultural capital and history, are they linked? Cultural capital originally comes from French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu in the 1970s. He believed that the more capital you had, the more powerful your position in society. So, how does this translate to today? It's argued that cultural capital would impact children from low-income families the most, as the accumulation of cultural capital, the acquisition of knowledge, is the key to social mobility. According to Ofsted Framework, they state that it is the essential knowledge that pupils need to be educated citizens, introducing them to the best that has been thought and said, and helping to engender an appreciation of human creativity and achievement. Ultimately, developing cultural capital in a school environment can give exposure to children of experiences that they may not otherwise have, and doing this through history is a really simple process. So, cultural capital, history, and lockdown. It's important now more than ever that pupils have access to different experiences, as they are currently not accessing them at home due to lockdown. Pupils miss out on time in school with teachers who usually encourage research and development of knowledge around the subject. Pupils are also at home 24/7, so they need to be able to access wider cultural experiences through teachers and their subject knowledge. So today I'm going to show you 5 examples of how you can develop cultural capital through history. So first of all, what we don't study in history. So this is a really simple way of encouraging cultural capital among your pupils. It encourages independent research, gives pupils freedom to explore topics of their own interest, and the topics that I select are already conceptually linked to those that are taught in the history curriculum. So for example, you could get pupils to do a local site study of Stonehenge or somewhere like that, and that would be really helpful then looking at medieval England, as they'll already have the knowledge to help with that. Virtual tours. These encourage pupils to view historical sites and museums from home. They provide pupils with a variety of cultural experiences, and it enables pupils to travel outside their home environment to discover history around the world. As you can see, I have some suitable for Year 7 and some for Year 8, as they work around the curriculum that we already have. And the tasks set out are just to give pupils the opportunity to study something they're really interested in. And if they fancy a challenge, they can always create a plan of the museum on the topic of their choice. So they can design the room, the artefacts, what the displays would look like, and the information in them. This is something that can really deepen pupils' understanding. Be an excellent historian. This is something I started using in the first lockdown back in March. So what could you do this week to improve your history knowledge and skills? So these are some ideas. They're not really related to what we would be doing in the curriculum, but they're just a way of extending pupils' knowledge. So you can either watch something, read something, listen to something. There's always a historical event of the week. So for example, Battle of Waterloo. There's a what if or meanwhile elsewhere. So when William won the Battle of Hastings, meanwhile elsewhere. So what was going on in the world at the same time as this? And also some hands-on history. The fourth one we have is screen break tasks. These are a really great way of encouraging children to just ditch the screen for a little bit and try and have a go at something that's a bit different. So for example, they could create a model of something historical. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Motte Castle, it could be anything that they find interesting. So a place, a building, an artifact, a person, an item of clothing. They could, for example, design a historical board game to play with their families. So these are all ways of pupils developing their cultural capital, especially through screen break tasks, which is really important at the moment. Additional learning based on current events. So what I tend to do is when there are events such as Holocaust Memorial Day, Black History Month and Black Lives Matter and Remembrance Day, it's really important to take a break from what you are currently studying and give pupils the opportunity to do some research on the current events around them. This could be a task to create their own memorial, to research a question, and to answer a question on Google Classroom about a particular area of interest. So developing cultural capital through history. It gives pupils the opportunity to explore history and the world around them. It encourages independent learning through wider cultural experiences. And it is never a lost opportunity. Although it may take time from your scheme of learning, it gives pupils the freedom to develop their understanding of the cultural world. Thank you for listening.